didn't publicize this call very heavily, so, you know, whoever is here is meant to hear this message. And if you feel that this message is meaningful, absolutely feel free. If I decide to hand it out, check my blog tomorrow or the day after, because I'm dealing with no internet. But if you feel that it's something that you should share with your teammates and colleagues and so on, definitely do. Feel free. You know, it's something I know that made a big difference for me and really helped me. Who's over here with me? Jackie and Kathy? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Anybody else? Okay, it's just us girls. Yep, cool.
Ooh.
Guys, I want to welcome everybody. My name is Diane Hochman, and I'm excited. I haven't done one of these calls in an awful long time. We're going to be on the phone for about a half an hour, maybe shorter. And I want to talk to you. First of all, please, if you are online, if you're Skyping and all that stuff, please turn it off, because this is like really important stuff. And do me the honor of that, and do me the honor and the respect of giving me about 20 minutes to half an hour max, and set that aside. I'm going to talk to you about something that I know holds so many people back. But if you haven't met me before, I've been in this industry for 12 years, home business industry. I started when my kids are 3 and 6, and Kathy and Jackie, Jillian went to her first day of college today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty big day, you know, for our family and everything. So I've truly brought up my children from home with the income that I've earned from the industry. You know, it all started as a way to be home with the kids, and we were really broke, and I needed to make some money. And over the years, it's turned into a dream come true. So I'm always pleased to share anything from my experience with others that are coming down the road, because I've learned over the years that it was never the tip or the trick or the internet thing or whatever that made the difference. It was always, and I love to teach those things, by the way, guys. I teach marketing. I teach attraction marketing. I'm an expert. I know my stuff. I'm not afraid to say it. I know my marketing. But I find that most of the people, if I teach them the marketing, but they haven't acquired the thought process and the mindset, it doesn't work for them. And then people get really frustrated and really angry because they think that we're keeping something back from them. Have you ladies ever heard someone say that? They don't really tell us what they do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? People are always like, that's not really what they do. They don't really tell us what they do. These are two of my tightest protege students here. Guys, do I really tell you what I do?
Absolutely, all the time.
Yes.
I mean, I generally tell the public. All the time. Sometimes I do 3 and 4 hour open house teleseminars and webinars where I show people exactly what I do. It doesn't really make a difference if there's some stuff sitting inside of you. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. And I want to tell you a story, and it's pretty facetious. And I want you to hang in with me, because you're going to sit and you're going to go, this woman is absolutely nuts. But you're going to understand when we come out the other side that I'm really not, and that you have certain things going on inside of you that are keeping you from whatever you want. And I don't know what level you're at, guys. There's so many on the phone I know. There's some of you guys I'm meeting tonight. I'm very excited. This whole new world opening up to me. I'm meeting a lot of people. I've had the privilege of speaking at some big events. I'm speaking at another big event coming up in October. Some of you guys will be there with me. I'm excited about that. And hopefully some more of you will decide to join us. Yay, right? And Kathy Heath is going to finally meet Mickey Mouse. So it's
absolutely.
A big event. But I've gotten to meet so many people, and it's such a privilege. So let's talk about this. Jackie, you used to live in Minnesota, didn't you?
Yes.
Right, Minnesota it was, right? And isn't that where
7 long winters.
For 7 long winters. Isn't that where the Mall of America is? I don't even know.
Yes, it is.
The Mall of America is in Minnesota. Now, guys, I really didn't intend to talk about this, but Jackie's here, and it just made me think about it. And the only reason I thought about it is because somebody came on the line who's from Minnesota. I heard somebody shout out Minnesota. Can you guys imagine, just for a moment, that they shut down the Mall of America for a while? And for those of you that might not have heard of the Mall of America before, the Mall of America is like a metropolis. Is it the biggest mall in the world? I don't even know. If it's not, It's one of them.
It's the biggest one on this continent, yes.
Okay, it's the biggest mall on the North American continent. I know there's probably one in Dubai or something that's bigger somewhere. But, Dubai has everything. But it's the biggest mall on the North American continent, okay? This thing has everything, including, they got ice skating rinks, and they got Ferris wheels, and I think there's a hotel or two in there. I don't know. I haven't been there. Although, Kathy, someday, you want to go to Mickey? I want to go shoe shop at the Mall of America, man.
I'm there with
that's one of my big goals. People want to go to Paris? No, I want to go to the Mall of America. Can you imagine if the Mall of America, if they shut it down for a little while and then they reopened it, and it's the grand reopening of the Mall of America. This ain't the Mall of Minnesota, guys. This is the Mall of America. It's about red, white, and blue, the American way. And, guys, by the way, apologies to my friends up north, my friends over in the UK. I'm going to do a little flag waving for a minute. And all my Canadian friends always tease me when I do it, but it was bred into us when we were little. We can't help it, guys. They sat us down in front of a flag and when we were little kids, so it is what it is. But it's about capitalism, and it's about the American way. It's about everybody's right to the American dream. Heck, Jackie's on the phone. She left South Africa with a couple of suitcases and came here with almost nothing. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they all came here, whether it's the States, whether it's Canada, because my great-grandparents came from Europe to Canada. Which a lot of people don't know. So I love my Canadian friends because you're my cousins. And by the way, my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents came from England. So for my girls in England, I go back there too. So can you imagine if all of a sudden they reopened the mall and like swarms, shoe-shopping women from everywhere descended on the mall, and men who want to go and buy sporting goods and tools, and they want, people who wanted appliances and whatever people buy there. I assume they buy pretty much everything. Everybody descended on the mall. But the mall now had a new policy. When you walk in the mall, each of the stores, there'd be somebody standing out front. And they'd invite you to come for an informational seminar or webinar or teleseminar, or come on in, sit down, and we're going to teach you all about everything you ever wanted to know about whatever products you were looking for or interested in. We're going to teach you about shoes, and we're going to have workshops, and we're going to have seminars, and we're going to have all this stuff. But for some bizarre reason, they wouldn't tell you anything. You traveled across the continent. Maybe you went by car for days. Maybe you flew in. But you traveled because you wanted to go to the Mall of America. But when you got there, all they did was help you and teach you stuff and be your buddy. It's kind of weird. And this goes on for about a year or so. And everybody gets used to the idea that you go to the Mall of America to hang out for free. You can go in and you can, learn how to, Victoria's Secret tells you the wonders of the push-up, explains the history of the ladies' undergarments. And, you go down to, Spencer's Gifts tells you why fart jokes are so funny. I'm sorry to be crude, guys, but if you've ever been into Spencer's, if you don't know what it is, they sell all these crude, weird things. So they talk about the science of the fart joke, going back in the history of comedy, and they take you back to 1892 when the first fart joke was told, and they explain why floating poop that you put in somebody's pool as a gag on, at their pool party is so funny, and there's all these workshops. So then this is all this happy little world, right? I know. The girls are going, where is she going with this? We've heard her do a lot of calls, but this is a little bizarre, right? True?
Yeah.
So everybody gets used to this. It's called moving the free line. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. Lead with value. Give everybody value. Help everybody. Lead with value. Okay. So first of all, how long can a mall last if they don't sell nothing? The answer is not very long. Right, ladies?
That's right.
So this mall is having some challenges but they're leading with value, and they're helping people, and they're making a difference. But one day, one guy goes, at the end of my workshop, I'm going to actually tell the people that they can buy shoes or they can buy the thing I'm talking about. And they offer something for sale. And they do quite a good job. And what happens is that a bunch of the people that were at the workshop get really, really, really excited. And they run and they buy that thing. And the guy who owns that particular, I can't even call it a store because he hasn't been selling anything for a long time, that venue, he's really excited because he made some money and he can keep his business open and keep his business going. And all the people are happy because they got to buy the shoes or whatever they wanted. Everybody's pretty happy, except for the guy that's 2 stores down from him because he's ticked off. Who does that guy think he is? He's tricking people. He tricks them. He brings them in, and he tells them all this stuff, and he helps them for free, and then the bozo sells them something. Can you believe the nerve of that guy? A couple weeks go by, and other people in the mall that own stores start to want to talk to this guy who made all the money. And they start to go, well, how did you do it, and what did you do? And in the meantime, that guy has more customers coming back. People are coming in, and they come for his workshop, and then they actually want to buy stuff again because he trained them and taught them all kinds of cool stuff, and they really like this guy. So we have a whole bunch of stores in the mall that are helping people and selling stuff to them. And then we have this segment of owners that have their hands across their chest, and they are very upset, and they are all gathering in the food court to discuss those horrible people that are selling stuff to all the people that they're not selling stuff to. And they start to call the people that own the stores that are selling stuff that are becoming mega successful. They start to call them gurus. And they are very, very, very upset with the gurus because all they're about is the money. They don't care about people just because they've spent the last 10 years building websites and tools and training for all of them. They don't care about people because they've created mechanisms to help people in books and courses that teach everybody what they did to get where they are. Those people are horrible because all they do is run those gosh darn webinar seminar things, and all they're doing is to look to pad their pockets again. And then the nerve of the guy that started it all, he holds a seminar to teach other store owners how to sell a lot of stuff and make money and be prosperous, and the guy has the nerve to charge $10,000 for the weekend to spend the weekend with him. Can you believe the nerve of that guy? Guys, can you imagine a mall that doesn't sell anything? It wouldn't last very long, and it would be absolutely insane. Insane. Can you imagine a Walmart that doesn't sell anything, a Target that doesn't sell anything, a Home Depot that doesn't sell anything? We just do workshops to show you how to do tile. But we're not allowed to sell it to you because you'll get mad at us. Can you imagine? If you really study prosperity, and if you really read the books, Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich, and you get into Catherine Ponder and you learn about the laws of prosperity, you start to learn that the minute you resent anybody for becoming prosperous in their own way, it doesn't have to be your way, but the minute you resent anybody from becoming prosperous, the minute you criticize or hold resentment against anybody that's moving forward, is the minute that you completely halt your progress. I remember I used to sit back in the day, I was involved in my first network marketing company, and I used to sit in the chairs at those meetings and get mad at all the people that were moving up the ranks because they were scum. They were pushy. They were taking money from people. Not me. I was helping everybody. I was here to help everybody because I just wanted to be the kind of person that helped people and just saved the world. And those people, all they were about was the money. In the meantime, those people were speaking to and inspiring thousands of people at Super Saturday meetings and national conventions. Those people who were so horrible were creating systems and tools for all the distributors to use. They took on the responsibility. They took their money, their time, they invested, they hired the programmers. And yet they had the nerve to charge me to use a website that they want me to use to make them money? Guys, I'm in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Wallace Wattles. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's a very challenging book to read. It's good to read it with a group of buddies. I was taught by my mentor, a man named Joe Schroeder, about this book. I had read it before I worked with him. He helped me to understand it an awful lot better. I encourage you guys to get together with some people and work on it. It says that every person has the natural and inherent power to think what he wants to think, but it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think the thoughts which are suggested by appearances. I'm going to read it again. And by the way, if you hear any clanging, I am in my home because I do work from home, and my incredible husband, Lawrence Robert Hochman, is helping out and doing some stuff. Girls, I know you want to give a big shout-out to Larry. Yay, Larry!
I was just sitting here thinking, say hi to Larry for me, please.
I will. I'll say hi to Larry for you. I'm going to go up in here in my office. I was pacing in the middle of the house, and she's tripping. Guys, I want you to hang with me. This is important. I want you to self-check, self-examine. Have you thought this about people? There are some of my closest colleagues that have thought it about me. Oh, she's making a change. Oh, she's doing this. Oh, she's doing that. She's all about the money. In the meantime, I'm looking to seek larger audiences that I can inspire and help to find the people that were like the little housewife that I was. Because I know that they can hear me. I know some of you can hear me. And I learned a long time ago that the minute I throw stones is the minute I can't stop my progress. So let me read this again. Every person has the natural and inherent power to think what he wants to think, but it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think the thoughts which are suggested by appearances. In other words, you can look at someone and go, oh, all about the money and the this and the that. But you may not realize what that person put into the education that they have that enables them to help teach and train others, what that person put into learning those skills that allows them to charge $10,000 for a weekend. It's easy to jump to conclusions based upon our own circumstances. To think according to appearances is easy. To think truth, regardless of appearances, is laborious and requires the expenditure of more power than any other work a person has to perform. There is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from the art of sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest work in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to sustain, to declare, to put out there that the problem in our industry, in the internet scape of the home business world, is not the gurus. It's you. It's me. It's all of us. Because they are doing exactly what every single one of us dreams of. Being successful, building a business that gives a sustainable residual income. And I am on that road myself. and some will shun me over the months and years to come. But I have spent the last 12 years bringing up my children, studying, working, teaching, training, and bleeding for people. And any prosperity that comes to me or comes to you through your efforts and your work and your bleeding. When I say bleeding, I don't really mean bleeding, but I mean the sweat, the blood, and the tears of sustained effort and sustained thought. Any prosperity that comes to any person that walks that gauntlet is warranted. It is right, and I'll go further to say it is righteous. It is a right living. It is a proper living. And it is your choice every single day to decide when you walk into the mall to act responsibly when you make your purchases. It is your choice to do your homework and find out which crock pot to buy this winter season. It's your choice to decide who you spend your training with, who you spend your investment dollars with, what companies you choose to work with, what people you choose to work with. And in the event that you make the wrong choice, there is no one to blame but you. I made the wrong choice many times over. That's what's given me wisdom in this industry, and I seek a lot more. I'm only 12 years in. There are many people that have much more wisdom than me. I seek them out, study with them, learn with them, and yes, I pay them for their knowledge. Because it is possible through study and mentorship to acquire the mind of another. Some people are thinking, this is so deep, this is heavy, this is like, whoa. Guys, if you listen to what I'm talking to you about tonight, you can save yourself years of frustration, anger, and potentially the loss of thousands of dollars in money. Gurus, if you want to call them that, are people that cracked the code. They are people that have learned the skills. And they are people that have paid the price. Any of us, if we throw a stone at any person that's walked before us or become more successful than us, literally stagnates everything. I know you'd like to save the world. I wanted to, and I still am. One person at a time, person by person, city by city, state by state, country by country, across the world. I believe that. I'm delusional. Sidebar. There's two kinds of delusional in this industry. Two kinds of delusional. I'm almost done. Told you it's a short call. Two kinds of delusional. One kind of delusional is when you keep dropping money, you keep changing programs, you keep switching this, you keep switching that, you never settle down, and then you sit there and you go, and I'm really going to make it, I'm going to make this level, or I'm going to do this, and you're going to do that. And you have years behind you where you haven't made it. By the way, I'm not saying you're not going to make it. I'm just saying it gets a little delusional. Complaining, moaning, being mad at people. The other kind of delusional is when you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you were born to help people. And it's just a matter of time until you find the right place, the right program, the right people to run with so that you can, so that your voice can be heard. There is no making a buck in this industry. I'm going to say it again because people are going to get upset. If you got in the industry to make money, like I did, I got into the industry to make money. I was broke. I needed $500 a month. I was broke. I got in the industry to make money. I learned very quickly, you can't make money in this industry. This industry is the hardest way in the world to make an extra $1,000, and probably the easiest way in the world to make an extra $1 million. I don't know who said that originally. I've heard it repeated multiple times, so I'm sorry to not credit the original source. But think about that. It's the hardest way in the world to make an extra $1,000, and the easiest way in the world to make an extra $1 million. And it all revolves around your thought process. It all revolves around thinking, and it all revolves around strong mentorship. And unfortunately, but fortunately, this word sounds so harsh and people get frightened of it, but the word is correction. Like a parent corrects a child to bring them up to be successful. It's correction. And what I encourage you guys to do is, first of all, learn to correct yourself whenever those thoughts pop into your head and you are throwing stones at somebody who's done more than you, better than you. Learn to curb it. I remember my original program, people would complain about the number one distributors who also had a internet system that they charged $50 a month for. And everybody would scream and yell how greedy and how horrible they are. And yet nobody else wanted to build that system and invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in it and have a whole staff that they were responsible for to run it. It's easy to throw stones. So you have to learn to nip that in the bud. You start thinking about, I was going to name some gurus tonight, but I'm not going to. You know which ones you have issue with. By the way, if you listen to my recordings about 2 years ago, I had some issues with them too. But I said all along that it was never their fault. It was ours, because we're the ones at the scene of every crime. We're the ones that spent too much money that weren't responsible. We're the ones that overextended our charge card. We're the ones, I heard from somebody who might be on the line tonight, that they own all these different courses that I refer to all the time. And he said, I've owned them for years. I've never opened them. Do you own a book, a course, or this or that? You bought in a frenzy and you never listened to it? Or maybe you never listened to it a second time. So one, learn to nip that thought process in the bud. And then two, seek out an environment where the person you're working with, it doesn't have to be your sponsor, guys. Your sponsor could be your next door neighbor, your cousin, your sister. My original sponsor was my cousin, okay? And my cousin wasn't much more experienced than me. I sought out mentorship upline. If you're in network marketing, some of you guys aren't. If you're in real estate, if you're in this and that, you have to find a broker who's experienced. Seek out mentorship. A true teacher can't deny a learner. I want to say that really loud, because there's a couple of you guys that are worried about some things right now that know me well. A true teacher cannot deny a learner, no matter what. Seek out mentorship. Somebody that cares enough, is strong enough to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And somebody that is willing to tell you the truth. Because you can spend another 3 years spinning your wheels, or you can spend 6 months turning your head around and being on the right track. Let me close with this. September 1st is Thursday. I personally am going to be making some announcements on Thursday about some things I'm working on. If you guys have never been to my site or not on my list, it's Diane Hochman, HOCHMAN.com, DianeHochman.com. If you were invited by me, you want to make sure you go there if you're not on my list. Especially if you just follow around on Facebook and stuff, because dibs always goes to my list. If you were invited here by one of my buddies, if you were invited here by Kathy or Jack or Edward, get in touch with them and go, wow, what's she going to be talking about? We're going to be making some special announcements on Thursday about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and what people are doing with me. But you guys, September 1st, as far as I'm concerned, September starts the last quarter of the year. I don't count December, because in December most people are asleep. Now, I work like a crazy woman in December. Most of you guys know I work like a crazy woman in August. I think these are very critical months. September, October, November, 90 days, you have the opportunity to gain enough momentum that you fly into 2012. You have an opportunity in these 90 days, or the most critical 90 days. You have the opportunity to gain enough momentum to fly into your next year. Or you can snooze through this quarter and then try to start it in a new year. Make New Year's resolutions like everybody, you know. I'm going to really do it this year. Okay, it's September. Did you really do it this year? I'm not being mean. Some of you guys did really do it this year, man. So congratulations. And then you know, if you did it this year, you already know that you have the chance to catapult yourself up another level. again. When in this industry, it's hard to get to $1,000. And then once you get there, you can double it because you understand how to execute it. There's a science to it, and you can execute it. And then you can then double it and double it. But it's funny because it's really hard to get to 1,000, and it's easier to get from 1,000 to 2,500, and then it's easier to get from 2,500 to 5,000, and from 5,000 to 10,000 becomes a hop, skip, and a jump. I know that sounds insane to interview anybody who's done it. It's the beginning that's hard. It's the beginning that is the challenge. And the reason why is simply everything I discussed tonight. It's a negative thought process, a non-prosperous thought process, and playing the blame game. The great Randy Gage of network marketing fame and fortune, if you know him, taught me a long time ago that there was only one person at the scene of every crime. There was only one person that messed up, that picked the wrong sponsor, that bought too much, that went to the thing that they shouldn't have gone to, that this, and that. There's only one person. That person was me. And when I finally recognized that I was the one doing the goofy stuff, I was able to change. The problem is not the gurus. The problem is not the program. The problem is not the launch. The problem is none of it. The problem is you. And if somebody has worked so long and so hard and studied so long and so hard that they know how to induce a buying trigger in you and you have not learned how to control it, say hallelujah, because that means you can learn it too. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Diane Hochman. My site is dianehochman.com. I invite all of you to visit it. My email address is diane@dianehochman.com. If tonight resonated with you, I invite you to send me an email. I do not have internet service right now, so I am challenged, but I do have a cell phone that gets them. I will write you back. I'd love to hear from you if this moved you, if you realize that you are guilty of this thought process, and if you're committed to changing it. Guys, there are leaders all over that can show you the way. But we can't show you the way as long as you are blocking it with this stuff. I got a phone call this afternoon from a gentleman. Within the first 30 seconds of the conversation, I learned about his foreclosure, his illness, and the fact that he has no money now. 30 seconds, Kathy, it was stunning. I've never heard anybody do it so fast. First 30 seconds. And that is so obvious, and most of you, if you're on the line tonight, you've grown out of that. So now you need to grow out of the vicious, slow, lying, I'm looking for a word. I don't know what the word is. It's infectious disease of resenting those that have become successful. It destroys. It eats away at your own consciousness. Because when you say that so-and-so can't become successful, then you're subliminally telling yourself that you will be bad if you do. Do you get that? Let me say it one more time and we're done. When you say that somebody's all about the money, when you think it, when you say it, if it falls from your lips or even if it falls from your thoughts, when you say that they are bad, you are telling yourself that if and when you become prosperous, you are bad too. And if you are bad in your mind and in your soul, you will, even if you figure it out and make money, it will be taken away because your subconscious will be forced to correct the situation. This is heavy stuff. And in future months, we'll do more calls, we'll read books, we'll talk about this. But I wanted to give you some food for thought tonight. So I love you guys. Thank you for the well wishes with the storm. I appreciate every one of you that reached out to me. Jackie and Kathy, I always appreciate you ladies.
Thank you, Diane. We appreciate it.
Yes, you too, love.
Take care, everybody.